Clean it with your tongue, orders the manager. Billionaire sees two little girls being humiliated and cries. The restaurant was crowded that afternoon. Laughter, the clinking of silverware, and the soft hum of music filled the air. Yet in the far corner, a different kind of sound broke the pleasant rhythm. The sharp, humiliating voice of a manager. Clean it with your tongue if you have to, he barked, heads turned. A few people stared for a moment, then quickly looked away, pretending not to see. But two little girls, no older than 8 or 9, stood trembling near the counter. One of them, wearing a faded dress with a torn hem, held a tray that had just slipped from her hands, scattering crumbs and a glass of juice across the floor. The other, her sister, clutched her hand tightly, her small frame shaking in fear. The manager loomed over them, red-faced and furious. You poor brats think you can just mess up my restaurant? Do you know how much that glass costs? The older sister lowered her head. I'm sorry, sir. We didn't mean enough, he snapped. You'll clean every drop, or get out. And don't expect to be paid for the bread you begged for. The younger girl's eyes filled with tears. Please, sir, she's sick. We just wanted something to eat. From the other side of the room, a man in an expensive suit froze in place. His hand stopped halfway to his coffee cup. His eyes locked on the two little girls, and suddenly, the entire world seemed to blur around him. He rose from his chair slowly, his chest tightening. His name was Ethan Cole, a billionaire hotel owner, known across the city for his ruthless business instincts and cold-hearted demeanor. But right now, the man everyone feared was fighting back tears that he walked closer, each step heavier than the last. What did you just say? His voice was low but steady. The manager, startled, turned around. Oh, Mr. Cole. Sir, I didn't see you. These girls. Ethan cut him off with a glare sharp enough to slice through steel. Did I just hear you tell a child to clean with her tongue? Sir, it was a misunderstanding. Get out, Ethan said coldly. Pardon? Get out of my sight. You're fired. The entire restaurant went silent. The girls stood frozen, wide-eyed, not understanding who the man was or why he had defended them. Ethan turned to them, his expression softening instantly. He knelt down, so he was eye level with the older sister. What are your names? I'm Lily, she whispered. This is my sister, Rose. Where are your parents? Lily's lips trembled. Mama's gone. Daddy went to the city to find work. He hasn't come back. Ethan felt a lump rise in his throat. He saw himself, not as the billionaire he had become, but as the hungry boy he once was, watching his mother scrub floors in restaurants while men in suits laughed at her. He had promised himself that he'd never be poor again, but in chasing wealth, he had forgotten what it felt like to feel. He stood up and turned to the staff. Bring them food, anything they want. The chef hesitated. Sir, they now, Ethan said firmly. Minutes later, the two little girls sat at a table filled with warm bread, soup, and juice. They ate silently, still unsure if it was real. Ethan watched, his heart breaking with every bite they took. When they finished, he gently asked, Where do you sleep? Lily hesitated. Behind a bakery, sir. There's a shed. It's cold, but it keeps the rain out. Ethan's chest ached. He reached for his phone. Not anymore. That night, he drove them himself, not to a shelter, not to a hotel, but to his own mansion. The maid stared in shock as he carried the youngest girl in his arms, her small head resting on his shoulder. Prepare 2 rooms, he ordered softly, and dinner for them. Every night. The housekeeper nodded, eyes wide. Yes, sir. When Rose awoke the next morning, she blinked at the soft sheets and the sunlight streaming through tall windows. Lily, she whispered, did we go to heaven? Lily smiled weakly. Maybe an angel helped us. Ethan overheard the words from the doorway. He turned away, wiping his eyes quickly. Days passed. Then weeks. The girls slowly filled his silent mansion with laughter, the kind he hadn't heard since his wife died years ago. Rose drew pictures for him. Lily helped the cook in the kitchen. They called him Mr. Ethan at first. But one evening, as they danced in the garden under fairy lights, Rose looked up at him and whispered, Thank you, Daddy. Ethan froze. Tears welled in his eyes before he could stop them. He hadn't cried in years. But now, he let them fall freely. He knelt down, hugging her tight. You can call me that if you want. From that night onward, he wasn't just a billionaire. He became a father again, not by blood, but by love. Months later, Ethan used his influence to start a charity, one that provided food, shelter, and education to homeless children across the city. On its first day, a golden plaque was unveiled with words engraved in simple letters. No child should ever be humiliated for being hungry. As cameras flashed and reporters asked questions, Ethan only smiled softly, watching Lily and Rose standing proudly beside him. He finally understood that the greatest fortune a man could ever own was a kind heart. Moral of the story: true wealth isn't measured by what you have, it's measured by how deeply you care. Compassion can heal the pain that power and money never could.